NSC Fan TV. Drew, finally sitting down here with Scott.
Hey!
After a long hiatus, after a 1-1 draw against Austin.
Away at Austin.
Away.
Away at Austin. Away.
Away. Oh, a draw away.
A draw away at Austin, a team that, despite the fact that they played not so well at Geodis, is really a team that's kind of at the top of the league, and they showed some real quality with us there in Austin, and I think as a team, I think that we went toe to toe with them, and like I looked at that and I was like, I hope that we get them in the playoffs.
That would be a thriller.
If we have to play them in the playoffs, I like our chances.
Yeah,
I like our chances playing away against them.
I think matched up 1-1, I think I liked seeing the dynamic, especially in the final parts of the first half that we saw going forward. I mean,
I thought that Moore's play was really positive. I thought Schaffelberg was had positive play. I think that shout out to those two in terms of just their contributions to the offense.
So far,
just so consistently good.
Yeah.
I think that there are two players that I thought did not have the games that I wanted to see from them. I think that one of them was Randall Leal.
I was about to go there.
And especially so. I think that there are two reasons why I wanted to see Leal have a better game. One of them, and I think that he didn't. One of them was just that he was taking the outside shots, but they were all badly framed, and one of them looked really, really rushed.
Yeah.
And he relies, I think, on the power that he's got in that leg to be able to sort of compensate for some of the placement issues. Mm-hmm. But I think that the other thing that I wanted to see him play well was not just for us. I want to see him play well to make it on that Costa Rica squad and play in the World Cup. I want to see him play in that game against Spain. I want to see him play in November, and got high hopes for him for that. And that was not a game that if I were the Costa Rican national team coach, that I was like, I'm not so sure that he needs to make the trip.
And that's a crucial match, trying to cinch playoffs, trying to get all these things down. And but to be fair, in his defense, I will do a little defending on a point I was going to critique him on. At some point, it was either Jamie or Tony who said that he matched Gallagher's speed. Let me say,
Gallagher's faster than him.
Gallagher is not. That guy's got acceleration.
That guy's fast.
I think Leal didn't have the speed to match him on that wing. I just don't think that was defensively going forward. I could see how that made sense to put Leal there and see what can amount from that. Come from that. But defensively, that's not a great pairing. Not even close. I mean,
so and I think that we've seen Leal make some great tackles, but like if we're seeing more overlap Leal, then that either means that one of the sixes, and that's pretty much what we were seeing consistently. Yeah. Leal was not coming back into the space behind Moore when he was coming forward. He was staying up, and that means one of the sixes was coming back.
They have to come back. Yeah.
And I think that that's the better choice. I think that Davis sliding over and taking in that spot is the better choice than Leal being in that spot. But you know what I would like better is for the person playing out there on the wing to be able to come back and play some goddamn defense every once in a while. Because I thought that our midfield play was just non-existent. I think that there was nothing direct out of the midfield.
No.
I think that Dax is, for as much as I love Dax and for as much as I love Sean, I wouldn't say either had a bad game. But they were just kind of non-existent. There was a lot of just anonymity from them, and I think that especially from Davis was effectively just coming back and filling in Moore's spot whenever he was coming forward, which is the role. But it made it so that his game was effectively that he was just a fifth defender.
He was just dropping back every time he had to, which was often. And going back to what you said, I mean, your 2 points they interlock well. I think is that we appreciate Moore's addition. To our offense and what he offers coming from the back, but it's coupled with that. Davis is going to have to come back.
And
I mean, given the current structure and that hard 4-4-2 play that we saw, I mean,
and this may just be an argument for changing to a back three. Look, again,
without Zimmerman, think about that too. That's another thing to consider.
Back three without Zimmerman.
I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. That's an important interruption.
Consider that too. The back four. I don't know if anyone's talked about this, but without Zimmerman, what do we do? Is back three fine without him, or do we have to go to the four?
I think that back three with Lovitz as one of the three, as one of the three center backs, or one center back, three fullbacks, or two fullbacks. So I mean, it would be Romney and Mayer.
Yeah.
And then we've got a kind of a question as to what the third would be. Would it be Miller?
I mean, we saw him come on later.
We've seen Lovitz play a third back before. Maybe Longmire can get rotated in. I mean, it would be great to see him come in. But but if we are going to play that wing play, that's not going to pay the price from center mids, then I think a 3-back is the better setup with Moore kind of as the outside 5.
That's absolutely right. I cannot have said it better myself. Could not have. Absolutely. If you're going to have that kind of wing play, if you want to avoid one of the 6 is a double 6 problem, having to drop back, then you've got to have 3 in the back.
Right.
That don't budge.
Budge. And
well, if it's Zimmerman in the middle, he will budge.
He's going to budge. He's going to be part of the offense. He's going to be part of the offense, especially whenever there's set pieces. And sometimes he gets pulled up as part of build up play and things like that. That is his nature, and that's one of the positives that come from him. But we've also seen that it creates some space behind him that others have take advantage of us.
Let me jump in here really quick to say, speaking of going forward in transitional play, we saw Sapong almost end the drought. We saw him come close to ending the drought.
That ball hit his own leg, though. I just hate it. He's like he hit it. He was like, you hit it perfectly into your own leg. CJ, I loved seeing the play. I loved seeing the hustle. That guy right now is. Right, he is that mouth is dry.
That mouth is dry. That mouth is dry.
He is in the drought zone, man.
Drought,
Oh man, feeling parched for that fella.
He's on his behalf, yeah. I mean, these are players come under critique recently.
Yeah.
Just like with Miller. I mean, you mentioned Miller and possibly being a third, but Miller and Sapong have come under some fire.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the challenge is that we played with 2 in the front. It was Hani and CJ.
Yeah.
CJ's a natural forward, but he's on a drought. Hani, by my estimate, is not really a natural forward, and we're playing him as a forward because of the fact that we've got other problems. And maybe he'll be a forward, and maybe I'll eat my words, and maybe at the end of all this. But even whenever he announces himself, even when he talks about himself, he says, "I'm a midfielder."
Yep. That's.
But regardless, he's playing. We play with the 2 in the front, and the problem is that we don't have a bench to be able to look at it and say, oh, this is the natural answer here. So Bunbury turns out to be an answer, but Bunbury's not natural as part of a front 2. He clearly can score. I mean,
I was gonna say he was going on a roll there, but I'm with you. Yeah, I don't think naturally he's not sitting there waiting for a striker kind of situation.
I think that Ethan Zubak is our only other choice for that, and it doesn't look like Gary trusts him with it. I don't know what the story is with it. I mean, we've seen Zubak on in some cases and see him do something brilliant, and then we've seen Zubak come on and just be completely anonymous. And so
but the thing is, part of that is that he's always coming on in almost all cases, and he's sometimes right when we really are chasing the game, rare. Right, but take off a defender, plop Zubak, and see what happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
and he's clearly fit. I mean, we've seen him run a ton
and run. That dude's fast. If we want someone on our squad who could match Gallagher's speed, it'd be Zubak. I don't know who else it'd be.
I think Schaffelberg's fast.
Schaffelberg is fast.
Moore's fast like that. And so we don't have a speeder.
Right.
We don't have a speedster in the front anymore, and so that would be a great thing. So I got one other player that I thought that I just thought had a strong game until the error, and it was Lovitz. Lovitz's error for their tying goal was a case where he didn't need to come over because it looked like we had 2 defenders, but he got pulled off of Driussi and came to the ball, and the ball came out. And now again, being on a guy doesn't guarantee that he's not going to be able to strike it into the goal. Being near him, having him marked, isn't going to stop any of that. But Driussi was by himself when he received that ball.
No, that was... And I couldn't believe my eyes.
It seems to me...
Okay.
I only played a little bit of soccer compared to these guys, but it seems to me, as a watcher and appreciator of the game, that whenever you've drawn the lot of marking the league's second leading scorer, you don't leave him alone on the backside. You stay on him.
Yeah. First, let's take a moment and to appreciate the nature of Scott's insight. He's taken into account, right, that, we're watching the game. We can only say so much from our end. We're not out there on the pitch. We're not out there getting yelled at by Gary, right?
I wasn't in the midst of it. Maybe their marching orders was play cram ball.
But at a certain point, look, you're marking fucking Driussi.
Yeah, you're marking Sebastian Driussi. Do you leave the second leading scorer in the MLS alone on the back post on a set piece? Seems to me that you don't do that.
And if you think about it, there's been, and I can't think of specific examples right now, so do I have a case in point? Maybe if I thought for a little longer. But cases where we let people like Insigne, for example, just have a little bit of leeway.
Arango is another one. Arango for LAFC was another one. It was like, why are we letting this guy? Why are we letting this guy do this?
We're supposed to. If we're building from the back playing Gary ball, we can't fucking do this. No. You can't have those kind of situations. I mean, just collectively as a defense, people need to be marked. If you're gonna sit there, you're gonna give them nothing but chances when you do that. I mean, yeah.
So soccer is a game where a goal makes a huge difference. And we can't give away cheap ones. Yeah. Partly because of the fact that despite the fact that we have Hani Mukhtar, and talk about a player that is sine qua non. Without which, not much.
Yep, I was gonna say without which,
it's not exactly nihil, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
And so again, Marshall said it 100 times. I've agreed 100 times. Without Hani, this team is a wooden spoon candidate, and this isn't to take away from anybody else. It's just the fact that we're just not producing goals unless it's off Mukhtar's boot. So if that's the case, then we have to have NSC needs to play a stouter defense.
That's right.
It needs to be a stouter defense, and that has to start with not letting league-leading scorers be alone on the backside of the goal for set pieces.
I mean, that's well said. I don't think I have anything to add to that. It's just flat out.
Okay, so
it just can't happen. Flat out,
it cannot happen.
It cannot happen. If we want to.
All right. So that was a lot of negativity. Let's take a moment to just savor that ball from Schaffelberg out of the back to Mukhtar.
Oh. If we're doing that was chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. There's unparalleled.
It's such a great ball.
Schaffelberg is such a great addition to our team.
Quick little chin on the shoulder, look over, and then
boom.
And right up the field, direct. Hani plays it perfectly.
Yep.
I don't think the defender needed to go to the floor.
No,
I thought that Hani had actually dribbled a little bit too wide to be able to get a decent shot in. But it doesn't matter because they were freaking out.
They were freaked. Sometimes, look, to all you at home, the Sapong haters, let me tell y'all, when they're freaking, that's when good things happen for us.
Yeah.
And so what were they doing? They were freaking.
They were freaking. So
they were freaking.
And they were off balance partly because of the fact that Sapong is a harasser to begin with. So that's laying a groundwork. But they were freaking, and that yielded Hani's pen. So so I think that was just such a moment of I was watching the game, and I inhaled, and I think that the chip that was in my mouth was deep in my lung. And so I'm trying to watch the pen, trying to exhale a chip deep.
That's funny.
Deep in my
all the way,
deep in my lung. Come on, Honey.
But then yelling at the end, that'll get it out because he struck that beautifully.
Oh, he struck it well.
But let me tell you guys at home, look. Next time he's up at home for a pen, do not yell MVP. Please don't yell MVP. You're tempted every.
We were talking
about evil bad
every nemesis in the world, and so it's there's not enough wood to knock. There's not enough wood to knock to be yelling. They do it after he sinks.
You can do it then, but before, you get into his head. He's at home, anyway. But he nailed it that game, and I was excited to see that, and I thought we were gonna win it. Maybe that's part of the reason why. I saw at the end of that first half, nothing but excellent play going
Oh,
forward
yeah.
of us. That the end of that first half, I think we
We
had
looked
them on the ropes.
fantastic. We looked fantastic.
And so going into that, like 10, how many minutes into that second half did we nailed the pass from Schaffelberg?
Yeah.
Like maybe 57? Was that
I do not. Yeah, Driussi's goal was at 61, so
it was like 5 before that.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, maybe I'm a bit off, but either case, opening with that so quick into the second half, I just really thought that we had it in us.
That we had it
for all three away.
But well, man, I'll tell you, we went. I agree. I went from a position where it's like, this is a win. This game is winnable. To we're gonna lose this stupid fucking thing.
Yeah.
Because like the last, I would say like 7-8 minutes, like it felt like rope-a-dope. Like I can't remember which Rocky it was, where like Rocky was like gonna get Clubber Lane to just completely punch his arms out, and he's up against the rope, and he's just punching, and like his arms are like oh now, and then Rocky's like oh now I gotcha, but it was like it wasn't feeling like that. He was like he's gonna drop and then start punching. He's just punching. It just felt so terrible.
Oh, man.
I was even said it like I think I was sitting near Primo at the watch party, and I was like, this just feels like rope-a-dope. It just feels you wrap up, and you're like, don't punch me in the kidneys, not in the face.
Not in the face. I didn't get a chance to see the end of the second half as clear as I wanted to, but I could tell from what was going on audibly that we had our shit pushed in.
That whistle could not come sooner.
The whistle could. I like that.
The whistle could not come soon enough.
But a point away.
Yeah,
I think for all it's worth, at the end, a point away against a team that is soaring. That soared.
Yeah, hey, they still got a point.
They got a point too. Yeah, I was gonna say they didn't come out of this empty, but away we haven't looked as great as we were supposed to theoretically. MLS is a hard league to win.
God, MLS is a hard. I mean. And there is, one of the things that I regularly said about the MLS was that given the pay structure rules and given some of the play, it's a league with a lot of parity. Now there are haves and have-nots, but they seem to sort of never be like sort of forever. Right?
That's right.
And so
there are cases when you look at the BPL, for instance, where there are teams that are just you stack those against each other. Yeah. Right. If one of them wins, it'll make news for weeks.
That's right. Yeah. It'll be like it's a win for the ages.
Yeah. But you don't really have that kind of situation in MLS, and that I think is a virtue of the league, that there aren't these huge discrepancies.
That's right.
And
so you have like you even take last season.
Yeah.
New England was a record-setting point haul. They get knocked out in the playoffs. That happens. Yeah. But like now they're just a good team.
Yeah.
It's like one season later, it's like they went from like breaking the record and winning the Supporter Shield to like, they're just good now.
That happened to Arsenal, and we're still freaked about it. Think about that, and then New England. It's like, Revolution was this, man. Turner, all this, and it's like well now they're just. Okay.
Yeah. Now they're just a good team.
They were sitting pretty at the top of that table all season.
Yeah.
They hardly dropped points. I mean, I thought we actually had a good record.
We had a good record against them, but nobody else did.
Yeah, I think we had
a win and a tie,
which is damn good against.
That's 4 points against 4 points against a team that good. We got 4 points against Austin. That's awesome.
And their team that's that good.
That's a team.
I mean, they're sitting right under LA.
But this is another. But in some ways, New England going from the top, from the best, from a record-breaking team to just a good team. But also look at Austin and look at Cincinnati. These are two teams that were sort of neck and neck for the wooden spoon, and now
look at Austin on the table now. You'd never believe it. If you told someone last season Austin was about to be here, they would not fucking believe it.
That's exactly.
There's no way. I wouldn't have believed it.
At the beginning of the season, I was like, "Thank God we get Austin."
Yeah, I was. If
we have to play if we have to play some away games, at least we get Austin away.
I was gonna say, come on,
great, bring the points.
Right, and you saw how we started off without the stadium, and how we had to play all those away games. And you're like, Austin at the end, that'll be sweet.
Good.
And then now look at us. We're just like shit. We came out of that with the point away. A point away. Yeah, that was damn good. I was like, Mukhtar's. He sunk that pen.
That's good.
But, yeah.
I got one other thing to say about Austin, which is that looks like a great stadium. I love the green. I think that they've got just such a class looking badge and home uni. I just love it.
It is a nice color too. Yeah.
But when they scored that goal, I don't know if you saw, but the whole place went green.
That scared me. I was like,
"What?
My TV break?
No,
that's my TV break."
That was pretty awesome. So I'm not saying that we need to do anything like that, but I was just like, that's a nice touch.
That was nice.
That's a nice touch.
But it absolutely went green.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like green, like I need like a green like the shirt green. It was a
deep
green.
Deep forest green.
It was, you are in the forest. That was a nice touch though. I was like, did my TV, that's shit.
Oh, no, that's home field stuff.
That's home field. That's going to be some home field advantage. That must feel so good to score that goal.
Gosh.
And they turned it green.
Turn the house green.
I turned it green, yeah.
Yeah. So good for them for having a nice thing. It's still not we'll never give up on you at the end of the game. But
no.
I get a little
one of these.
Yeah.
Little one of these.
Stick around. Stick around. Have a little tear in the eye for that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that I made it through my list.
I didn't have a list. Well, I kind of did. I had to talk about Gallagher. Leal got his ass beat speed wise. Although we'll see what next game holds. But there's that. Talk about Mukhtar. I think I've got my piece said.
Okay. So great to see Alex Muehl get on the field and Alec Muehl do his thing, which is hustle, get a chance, and then just bang it, then just bang the crap out of it.
Listen to me. Listen here. Everybody listen here. I don't want any of y'all to say Muehl got his job stolen. That's not stolen. Muehl's about to bang it out on that wing. I can't wait till next season. I want to see the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, look at
Gary's
we got wingers. We got wingers. Gary's not going to give up on Alex.
I was going to say, he put too much into him. Why would you give up? Why would you give up?
It's true. He is really invested in Muehl's development. So, I mean, Daddy's not going to start, and Daddy's not going to get all those minutes. Hey, you know what? We're probably going to see a lot of them on Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see some it's going to be an Alex Muehl.
Alex Muehl.
It's going to look like it's going to look like one of those cartoon characters with like the cloud of dust around his feet.
Yeah, just and ripping. Yeah, I can't. You can't knock the hustle. Don't knock the hustle.
Don't knock the hustle. Don't knock the hustle. Okay, we good?
NSC Fan TV.